I'm Jane Secker. I'm the Learning Technology Librarian at London School of Economics. I work in the Centre for Learning Technology, where we support staff using a range of technology in their teaching. My role specifically is to support staff using library resources in an online environment, and it's really important to give them copyright advice in this arena. There's a lot of issues that come up to do with rights and licensing, and I'm there to help give staff advice and support and deal with any queries. I have quite a lot of experience in this area because I'm the chair of the Heron User Group, which is a group of universities that are all using the Heron service to digitise and scan readings. We've got over 80 universities that are members, and I've been chairing that group for about 4 years now. Through my involvement with Heron, I'm also on the Universities UK Copyright Group, where we negotiate directly with the Copyright Licensing Agency over the licence that is used by the whole higher education sector. So I've got quite a lot of experience in the copyright field, and I think that a lot of it is very practical experience that's dealing with day-to-day queries that come in from staff. I think there's quite a wide-ranging audience for this book, although I think the primary audience is going to be librarians. I also think that people who are working in e-learning, so learning technologists, e-learning advisors and IT support staff would also find the book useful. I also think that it's not just a book that I would expect somebody in the higher education sector to read. E-learning is now something that's used in schools, in further education, in all avenues in education. So I think there's quite a wide-ranging audience. I also think that possibly somebody from the commercial sector would find it useful. A lot of commercial organisations put training materials online now, so they have some form of online learning environment for staff development, and museums and other public sector organisations will also be doing work in this area, so should find the book useful. And the other thing to say is that although I'm based in the UK, I've tried to really make the book appeal to an international audience, so where relevant, getting examples from outside the UK and from outside Europe, and specifically looking at the US and Australia and New Zealand. Well, the book's meant to be a very practical book, and it's written by a practitioner, so I've got a lot of case studies and examples that really highlight good practice and show you how copyright issues can be resolved. I think that copyright is sometimes seen as a barrier and sometimes seen as quite a negative thing when it comes to e-learning, that means that people can't do what they want. I hope by reading this book you'll see that actually there's a lot of things that you can do under licenses or by getting permission, and that copyright shouldn't always be a problem. What it does is draw on a lot of my experience, which comes from a UK leading university where we do a lot of blended learning and we're giving advice and support to staff, and so we're really trying to distill that best practice and help others in the field. We also have a lot of contacts, and I've put a lot of case studies into the book that will really highlight how other institutions go about doing things. And there I've drawn on examples from outside of higher education, from other libraries and other organisations to illustrate just sort of best practice, so that it'll hopefully be a valuable addition to books in this area. I'd just like to pick out two of the chapters. Chapter 3, I think people will find particularly useful. It talks about how to reuse content in the VLE or in the online environment. And here I focus on some of the licenses that are available that allow content to be reused, such as the Copyright Licensing Agency's licenses, the Educational Recording Agency license. I also will look at things like websites and licenses and terms and conditions that come with those sorts of materials, electronic resources as well, which can be, some of which can be downloaded and put into the virtual learning environment. And issues such as Creative Commons, which is a new sort of way of licensing material where people can say that they are happy for their content to be reused. So how to find some of those resources, but also maybe, you know, how to flag up that issue with academics if they want to reuse material themselves. Chapter 5 is the other chapter I just wanted to pick up, which looks at copyright issues and emerging technologies. So specifically here we're thinking about Web 2.0 technologies, a lot of tools and services such as Flickr, which is a photo sharing website, YouTube, where people make videos available, Facebook, all these sorts of sites. We look at how they handle copyright in terms of if you put your content onto those sites, but also what sort of things you can do with content that's on those websites as well. So again, really trying to be practical and give advice about what you can and can't do, steering you through what potentially can be seen as a bit of a minefield, particularly in the area of emerging technology, because there's not a lot that's been written in this area.